Have you ever noticed how something as simple as constipation can take away the joy of your days? For many seniors, it is not just about struggling to go to the bathroom. It is about living with that constant heavy feeling in the stomach, the bloating that makes clothes feel tight, the discomfort that makes it harder to enjoy meals, and even the restlessness that follows you to bed at night. It is a silent problem that steals energy, steals appetite, and steals peace of mind. People rarely talk about it because it feels embarrassing, but the truth is that constipation is one of the most common struggles in older. As the body slows down, the digestive system also slows, and what used to work smoothly suddenly becomes a daily challenge. Medications, dehydration, less physical activity, weaker digestion, all of this builds up until the bowels simply refuse to cooperate. But what if I told you that relief could be found in something so small and so natural that it almost feels too good to be true? What if I told you that just a single leaf could help unblock the bowels, restore comfort, and bring back that feeling of lightness and freedom? I know this might sound surprising at first, because when most people think about constipation, they think about pills, powders, or harsh chemical laxatives that promise quick results, but often leave behind cramps, discomfort, or even dependency. But nature has always provided answers, and sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. The leaf I am talking about has been trusted for centuries in different parts of the world, passed down through generations as a gentle yet effective way to encourage the body to let go of what it no longer needs. This is not about forcing the intestines in an unnatural way. This is about guiding them back into balance, allowing the body to work the way it was meant to. That leaf is the senna leaf, a gift from nature that contains powerful plant compounds capable of waking up a sluggish bowel and restoring the natural rhythm of digestion. And the best part is that you do not need much. Just one leaf, when prepared correctly, can be enough to bring real relief, sometimes overnight, without the need for complicated recipes or heavy medications. To understand why this leaf is so powerful, we have to think about what really happens inside the body when someone is constipated. Waste that should be moving smoothly through the intestines gets stuck. The muscles that should contract and push things along become lazy or weak. And the longer the waste sits there, the harder it becomes, making it even more difficult to pass. This is why constipation often gets worse over time if nothing is done. But inside the senna leaf, there are natural compounds called senicides. These are like little messengers that tell the muscles of the intestine, hey, it's time to get moving again. They gently stimulate the intestinal walls, encouraging them to contract more effectively and push waste forward. The result is not just a bowel movement, but a sense of relief, lightness, and release that can completely change how you feel in your body. Now, I want you to really imagine this in your own life. Picture those days when constipation has left you feeling heavy, bloated, and uncomfortable. You try drinking more water, you try walking a little, maybe you eat more fruit, but still nothing happens. Each hour feels heavier, and the frustration grows. Then imagine brewing a simple cup of tea using just one senna leaf before bedtime. You drink it calmly, you go to sleep, and by the next morning you feel something shift. Your body responds, the blockage is gone, and suddenly you feel lighter, more comfortable, and even more energetic. That's the power of this one leaf, a natural solution that has been hidden in plain sight for centuries. But let's take a step back and talk about why this matters so much for seniors. Constipation in older adults is not just about discomfort, it is about overall health. When waste stays in the intestines for too long, toxins linger in the body longer than they should. This can lead to headaches, tiredness, poor sleep, even problems with skin and mood. Many seniors report feeling irritable, fatigued, or foggy in the mind when they are constipated. That's because the digestive system is at the center of how the body works. When it is blocked, everything else feels off balance. By helping the bowels move naturally, senna does more than just relieve constipation. It helps the body regain harmony. Seniors often say that once they start finding relief, they notice their appetite comes back, they sleep better, and their energy improves. It's like pressing a reset button on the body. And here is something truly amazing. The use of senna leaf goes back thousands of years. In ancient Egypt, it was considered a trusted remedy for cleansing the body. In India, traditional medicine relied on it to keep digestion smooth and balanced. In many African countries, it was part of natural healing practices for generations. And today, modern science confirms what these ancient cultures already knew. Studies have shown that senna is not only effective in relieving constipation, but it is also safe when used properly. Doctors sometimes even recommend it before medical procedures when the bowels need to be cleared. The fact that one leaf can achieve results similar to pharmaceutical product, but in a natural way, is something worth appreciating deeply. Of course, as with anything, balance is key. Senna is powerful, and it should be used with respect. The beauty of it, though, is that you usually do not need much. A single leaf, prepared as a tea, is often enough. It is not about drinking it every day or relying on it constantly, but about using it when the body truly needs help. That way, you get the relief you need without creating dependency. And because it works gently overnight, you do not have to deal with the urgency or discomfort that some harsh laxatives cause. Instead, the process feels natural, like your body simply remembered how to work properly again. I think what makes this story so inspiring is how something so small can make such a big difference. Seniors who discover Senna often describe the change as life-changing. They talk about finally being able to enjoy meals without fear of bloating, about walking more comfortably because their stomach feels lighter, about having more confidence when leaving the house because they are no longer worried about discomfort or irregularity. Some even say they feel younger because constipation had been making them feel trapped inside their own body, and now they finally feel free again. Imagine how much joy and confidence can return to daily life just by unblocking the bowels with the help of one natural leaf. And this is why I am so passionate about sharing this message with you today. Because too many people suffer in silence, thinking constipation is just part of getting older, when in reality, nature has already given us tools to fight back. You don't need to live with that heavy belly, that uncomfortable pressure, or that endless cycle of trying and failing to find relief. Sometimes, the answer is as simple as looking to the plants that have been here long before us, carrying the wisdom of healing, and Senna is one of those plants. When we begin to understand the true impact of constipation on the daily life of a senior, it becomes clear why a natural solution like the Senna leaf feels almost like a miracle. For many older adults, the frustration is not only about the physical pain and heaviness, but also about the loss of control. It is difficult to wake up in the morning and not know if your body will cooperate, if you will feel free and light, or if you will spend the entire day uncomfortable and distracted by that tightness inside. It is difficult to sit with family at the dinner table and not feel anxious about digestion, or to go for a walk and be slowed down by the pressure in your belly. Constipation, though silent and invisible to others, creates a prison inside the body, and the longer it stays, the harder it is to ignore. That is why, when relief comes through something as simple and natural as a single leaf, the experience feels not only physical, but emotional. It restores a sense of freedom, dignity, and confidence that many seniors thought they had lost for good. The beautiful thing about Senna is that it does not just work on the body, it also brings peace to the mind. When you know that you have something natural at your side, something safe and effective that can help you when your bowels refuse to move, you no longer live in constant fear of constipation. Instead, you live with the reassurance that nature has your back. Imagine going to bed at night without that restless anxiety, simply because you know that the tea you drank with just one leaf will do its work gently as you sleep, and by the morning, you will wake up lighter and more comfortable. That peace of mind alone is worth more than any quick fix, because it gives you confidence to live fully again. Now, I want to emphasize something important here, because many people still believe that constipation is just about food and water, but it is much more complex. For seniors, the slowing down of the digestive system is natural. The muscles of the intestines do not contract as strongly as they once did. The nerves that signal movement are less sensitive, and many medications taken daily for blood pressure, heart problem, diabetes, or pain can interfere with bowel function. On top of that, many older adults eat less fiber because heavy meals feel harder to digest, and they drink less water because of reduced thirst. All of this together creates the perfect storm for constipation that never seems to end. And here is where Senna shines. Because unlike harsh chemical products, Senna works with the natural rhythms of the body, nudging the intestines to remember their job. It does not add more discomfort. It does not shock the body. It simply encourages what should already be. That is why so many seniors feel that it restores balance instead of creating dependency. But let me paint a picture that many of you will recognize. Imagine an older woman in her 70s, sitting in her chair in the living room. She loves knitting. She loves talking to her grandchildren. She loves baking on weekends. But lately, she has felt less motivated. She feels heavy, sluggish, and uncomfortable. And she knows it is because she has not had a proper bowel movement in days. She tries to distract herself, but the pressure in her stomach keeps pulling her thoughts back. Her daughter suggests over-the-counter laxatives, but she is afraid of cramps or diarrhea. Then, one evening, she prepares a simple cup of tea with one senna leaf. She drinks it, she goes to sleep, and the next morning, she feels the difference immediately. She goes to the bathroom naturally, without pain, and when she comes out, she feels like a new person. She is lighter, she has more energy, and she even feels hungry again. That day, she decides to bake her favorite recipe, and when her grandchildren arrive, they see the sparkle back in her eyes. This is the kind of real change that senna can bring. It is not just about going to the bathroom, it is about bringing joy back into life. And let us not forget the emotional weight of constipation. Seniors often carry this burden silently, feeling embarrassed to talk about it even with family or friends. It is a private struggle that often feels isolating. But when you discover that just one leaf can help you reclaim control over your body, that isolation begins to fade. You realize that you are not alone, that this is a common problem with a natural solution, and that relief is closer than you ever imagined. It gives back the sense of connection with life, with food, with social moments, with freedom of movement, and when that happens, something changes deep inside. You no longer see constipation as a curse of aging, but as something you can manage naturally, with wisdom and care. What also makes senna so powerful is that it is not just a temporary fix, but part of a larger philosophy of respecting nature and trusting in its gifts. When we drink senna tea, we are not just taking a remedy, we are connecting with generations before us who also trusted this leaf. We are honoring ancient wisdom that understood how plants could heal and restore balance. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that what is helping you today is the same thing that helped people thousands of years ago, across different lands and cultures. That continuity reminds us that healing does not always come from something new and complicated. Sometimes it comes from something timeless and simple. Now, I would love to pause for a moment and bring you into this conversation, because this is not just about information. This is about sharing experiences and building a space where people can feel supported. I want to know from you, have you ever tried a natural remedy like senna leaf for constipation? Or do you rely more on other solutions? How has constipation affected your daily life, your comfort, your energy? Your story matters, and by sharing it, you might help someone else who is going through the same thing. Please take a moment to leave a comment below. Even if it is just a few words, your experience could make a big difference for someone else who is struggling in silence. And to make it easier, here is a simple phrase you can copy and paste into the comments if you want to join the conversation, but do not know what to say. I struggle with constipation too, and I want to try natural solutions like senna leaf. This way, you can connect with others, feel less alone, and inspire someone else who might be looking for the courage to try something new. Remember, this space is for you. It is safe, it is supportive, and it is about building health together. So as we continue exploring the incredible benefits of senna, keep in mind that this is not just about your body, it is about your peace of mind and your connection with others. Every time you find relief, every time you wake up lighter and more comfortable, you are not only healing your body, but also opening yourself up to life again. Constipation does not have to define your days. With one leaf, you can reclaim comfort, restore energy, and rediscover the joy of simple moments. And when you share that journey, you give others the hope that they too can find relief. There comes a moment when every senior who struggles with constipation has to make a choice. Either they accept it as a permanent part of aging, something they simply endure day after day, or they open their heart to the possibility that relief can be simpler than they ever imagined. And this is where the story of senna leaf becomes so powerful, because it is not just about finding a way to go to the bathroom, it is about reclaiming control over the body itself. Imagine what it feels like when, after days of discomfort, you suddenly wake up and realize that your body has worked naturally again, that the blockage has passed, and that the heaviness is gone. That moment of lightness spreads through everything else. Meals taste better, walking feels easier, sleep feels deeper, conversations with loved ones are more joyful because your mind is no longer distracted by discomfort. And all of this begins with something as humble as a single leaf. The truth is that constipation does not only affect digestion, it affects confidence, mobility, mood, and even relationships. Seniors who are constipated often avoid social gatherings because they feel uncomfortable, or they eat less at family meals to avoid making things worse. Some even cancel outings or avoid travel because they are worried about their bowels. This silent struggle can shrink life little by little until it feels like freedom is lost. But senna leaf changes that. It reminds the body how to move again. It restores regularity, and with that, it restores confidence. That is why many seniors who discover senna describe it as a gift, not just a remedy. They talk about feeling young again, about feeling able to enjoy life fully again. That sense of renewal is priceless. But it is important to understand that senna is not a magic trick. It works because it respects the natural design of the body. Inside the leaf are senosides, those natural compounds that gently stimulate the muscles of the intestine. When the intestines contract more effectively, waste moves forward and the bowels empty naturally. This is not forcing, this is reminding. It is like a gentle tap on the shoulder that tells the body, you know what to do, now let's do it. And because it works with the body's natural processes, the relief feels clean and complete. Seniors often report that after using senna, they do not just feel emptied, they feel refreshed, like their entire system has been cleansed. One of the most inspiring things I have heard comes from people who say that senna helped them not only with constipation, but with their sense of well-being. They describe feeling lighter not just in the body, but in the spirit. They talk about energy returning, about feeling motivated to move more, to cook, to laugh, to live. Some even notice that their skin looks clearer, that their eyes look brighter, and that their mood feels more stable. And it makes sense. When the body is clogged, everything feels heavy. But when the body is unblocked, life flows again. That is the deeper gift of senna leaf. Now, I want to bring you into a story that might feel familiar. Picture an older man, perhaps in his late 70s, who loves gardening. For years, he has spent his mornings tending to flowers, planting seeds, and enjoying the fresh air. But lately, constipation has made him feel too sluggish to go outside. He wakes up heavy, uncomfortable, and discouraged. His garden, once his pride, starts to feel neglected because he does not have the energy or the will. His daughter, worried about him, brings him a small bag of dried senna leaves. She prepares him a tea one evening, just a single leaf steeped gently in warm water. He drinks it, not expecting much, but the next morning, he feels the change. He goes to the bathroom naturally, without pain, without struggle, and he emerges from it feeling like a weight has been lifted, not only from his body, but from his soul. That day, he goes out into the garden again. He waters his plants, he trims the bushes, and as he breathes the fresh air, he feels alive again. That simple leaf gave him back a piece of his life. And that is why senna is so much more than a remedy. It is a key to freedom. What makes senna so valuable for seniors is also its simplicity. Unlike complicated diets, expensive supplements, or invasive treatments, senna requires no special effort. Just one leaf, prepared as a tea, often before bed, is enough. It is easy, it is affordable, and it is natural. Seniors do not have to worry about complicated instructions or heavy side effects. It is a gentle ally that waits quietly until needed, and then delivers the relief the body has been craving. And because it works overnight, it respects the rhythm of life. You do not have to spend the day waiting anxiously, wondering when it will work. You simply wake up in the morning to find that your body has done its job. That trust and predictability is part of what makes senna so beloved among those who discover it. Of course, like anything, it must be used with wisdom. It is not about drinking senna tea every single day for weeks on end. It is about listening to your body, respecting its natural rhythm, and using senna when it truly needs support. This balance keeps the intestines strong and avoids dependency. Many seniors find that once they begin using senna occasionally, their bowels slowly regain their natural rhythm, as if the leaf has taught the body to remember how to function again. That is why senna is not just a tool for immediate relief, but a teacher of balance. Now, let us imagine together what life feels like when constipation is no longer holding you back. You wake up in the morning with your stomach feeling light and comfortable. You eat your breakfast without fear of bloating. You take a walk outside and feel energy flowing freely. You laugh with your grandchildren without that nagging discomfort in the back of your mind. You go to sleep peacefully, knowing that your body is working the way it was meant to. This is what senna makes possible, and this is what every senior deserves. Life is too precious to be weighed down by something as small as constipation, and nature has already given us the solution in the form of one powerful. And here is where I want to leave you with a thought that is bigger than constipation, bigger than digestion, bigger than even the senna leaf itself. Health in older age is not about fighting the body. It is about supporting it. It is about respecting its changes, its limits, and its needs, and finding natural ways to keep it balanced. The senna leaf is one example of how simple nature-based remedies can make a profound difference. But the deeper message is that healing does not always require force or complexity. Sometimes it requires gentleness, patience, and trust in the wisdom of what has always been there. As we close this journey together, I want to remind you that you do not have to carry this burden alone. Constipation is common, it is real, and it is deeply uncomfortable, but it is not something you are doomed to live with forever. With the right knowledge, with natural allies like the senna leaf, and with a supportive community, you can find relief, freedom, and comfort again. And that is exactly what we are building here together. A space where seniors can learn, share, and heal with confidence. So if you found this message meaningful, if you feel that learning about senna leaf has opened a door of hope for you, I want to invite you to take the next step. Subscribe to this channel and join our because here, you will not only learn about remedies for constipation, but about many other ways to support your health, your energy, and your peace of mind. By subscribing, you will always have access to guidance, to encouragement, and to knowledge that can make your life easier and lighter. More than that, you will know that you are not alone in this journey, that there are people who care about your well-being and who are here to walk with you. When you click that subscribe button, you are not just following another channel, you are joining a family of people who believe that seniors deserve comfort, dignity, and joy every single day. You are saying yes to a future where you do not have to suffer in silence, yes to a life where you feel in control, and yes to the simple power of nature and knowledge combined. And every time we share a new video, you will be the first to know, the first to learn, and the first to benefit. So, do not wait. Subscribe today, and let us continue building this path of health and freedom together, because your comfort matters, your dignity matters, and your joy matters. And here, you will always find someone who cares.